I just got rich. Well, this MetaDoge 5. Yeah. If you don't got a coin in your wallet, you broke. I said what I said. Hey, my doge not like yours. My doge is the first. You are just a meme. My doge got a metaverse. My doge not like yours. Tell him I said it.
Facts. My doge not like yours. My doge is the first. You are just a meme. My doge got a metaverse. My doge not like yours. My doge is the first. You are just a meme. My doge got a metaverse. MetaDoge, 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 MetaDoge. I just struck it rich. Too much money, it can't fit in my pocket. MetaDoge, flip it, watch me hold. NFT, I got one gold. We be lit like the stove. All these paper hands exposed. That's my doge, I cannot fold. Hey, I've been trapping doge off in the metaverse. MetaDoge, history made, we did it first. I can't make this up, ain't no right rehearse. We got all the drip, we gon' quench they thirst. My doge not like yours, my doge is the first. You are just a meme, my doge got a metaverse. My doge not like yours, my doge is the first. You are just a meme, my doge got a metaverse. MetaDoge, 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 MetaDoge.
So sorry about that. It was muted over on one side. So that's one of the things that we are doing right now is we are working on the gaming NFTs, and we will have those finalized here really soon for you guys to kind of take a look at. I've already seen a little bit of it. It is amazing. So you're going to be really excited about that. To kind of recap some of the things that we said, because we were muted over on YouTube due to some glitches right there. Certic audit, we're in the final stages of that, so that should be done soon, which will open us up to the bigger exchanges. CoinGecko has already done the relaunch on that, if you haven't already seen that. So all of that is updated. Obviously, whenever the Certic audit goes through, that also helps us to updating the logo and a lot of the different wallets. So outside of that, that is really all that we have to share right now. So if anyone has any questions whatsoever, go ahead and drop them in the chat. Go ahead and drop them in the voice chat. Whichever you want to do, we are here. This time in this space is here for you with any questions that you have. So if anybody has anything, feel free to go ahead right now. Taking it easy on us today. So one of the things that we are working on as far as with the game itself, we will be updating the white paper soon to reflect some of the features that we have been working around and implementing. So you should see that. If you do have any specific questions about the game, obviously we have to be a little bit vague since we are still in the production phase of it. But if you do have some questions regarding that, please, go ahead and ask right now. I see a couple of you joining the voice chat. If you do have any questions, again, just stop me at any point in time and ask. Really, we just wanted to make sure that you guys had a spot where you could come and ask us those questions, because we see it all the time. I know we see it on CMC, which we are now obviously officially listed on CMC, CoinGecko, and Chinese CMC. All of those have been updated in all of our previous exchanges. They should now be trading right now. So if you do have any questions, like I said, put them in the chat or just ask it right now in the voice chat. Matt sent a message and then retracted it. Dave's listening on Telegram right now and also on YouTube. So one of the things that we've also been doing and where we could need the community help if you guys get a chance is now that we are officially listed on CMC with the relaunch, a couple of things that you'll see is some flooding coming up in the comments that are on there saying, scam token, things like that. Be sure that you are monitoring that. Be sure you're responding to it and letting them know. Invite them to this AMA. I know I went through, I've gone through just about every single day, but going through and asking them every single time, come to our AMA, ask us these questions. If you feel anything about it, Albert, how you doing? If you feel anything about it like that's off, just come and ask us. We are doing this to be transparent. And if they don't want to make the effort to come in and ask, that's on them. They get to miss out on this. But we're excited where we are right now. One of the things that we can touch on is the 24-hour sales tax being at 20%. That has been lowered to 15% for the foreseeable future for right now. We're constantly monitoring that. We do have a healthy marketing wallet. So we just really want to kind of reinforce it because some of the things that we're going for, some of our more ambitious projects that we're trying to tackle is going to require a very exorbitant amount of marketing dollars. So that's one of the reasons why we are doing that right now, and to really reward the holders that are here, because I've told you this I don't know how many times, every single AMA. We are here for the long-term holders. We are here for the longevity of the project, and we are constantly updating to make sure that we are attacking from those points of views. So, Tyler, do you have anything to touch on with that?
Yeah, I just think it's important for us to underline the fact that what we're doing with marketing, the marketing wallet, sometimes can be very expensive. Sometimes it's not as expensive, but sustainability for our project long term means that we have to continue to grow that marketing wallet and sustain it over time so that we can do larger projects at some point. We do the smaller stuff in between, but that we have enough to when we need to pull the trigger on something, we have the capability of doing so.
Any more ads in the future, like the SpaceX ad? We do have some things that we are working on in those regards. We haven't signed on the dotted line, so I can't give you too much information on that, but something pretty big. Number one, a few influencers that we're working with, one of which is a very big influencer, which you will hear about here really soon. I think we're finalizing the details on that one. Other than that, we are really going to be heavily focused on the Asian marketing as soon as we get the Certic audit done, and the TP wallet getting the logo updated there. That's one of the things that we are heavily going to focus on is Asian marketing. I'm really hitting that space. So yes, we do have a lot that's in the works and the pipeline for it. I can't get too specific on it, but I have a feeling here the next week and a half, you'll be able to get a lot more details on that. So which is again one of the reasons why we raised the tax a little bit, to get a little bit more to the marketing wallet for kind of the ambitious things that we are looking to take advantage of.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, for anybody that watches this afterwards, maybe you got to come back and come up on what we've talked about today. I mean, SpaceX, Virgin Galactic, all of those folks, Blue Origin, I think they're starting to take trips to space. So if you're one of those rich guys who are going to be on there, feel free to wear a MetaDoge shirt when we get those out from our merch store once that launches, so you can take it up with you, get on camera, promote us too.
Which that does actually bring us to a good point. We are in the final stages of our merch store. We are just working on the payment methods for it. So here really soon you will be able to wear that MetaDoge merch, which we are both pretty excited to, because right now we're on camera wearing stuff from Target, just because I like Target shirts. And I would more than happy wear some MetaDoge stuff. So that's getting finalized here soon, and then everybody here will be able to rock that. So pretty stoked.
Yeah, 100%, man. I'm coming from work, so I got a polo on. This is not normally what I would wear in my daily life. However, I gotta look presentable for work. So once we get the MetaDoge stuff, I'll have a closet dedicated here at my brother's house, and have MetaDoge shirts to change into.
So do we have any other questions coming? Merch store date? Ooh, I don't know the exact date, but I've got a feeling also incredibly soon. That's from the sounds of it, because I haven't been involved in the talks on it, but from the sounds of it, they are just finalizing like minute details that should be good. So as far as a firm date, I don't have that answer for you, but trust me, we're going to let you know because we want people to obviously be buying it, and it's free advertising if you're wearing it around town. So we're gonna get that finalized here as quickly as possible. How else can we get involved in the project? So there's quite a few ways, and I love it when people ask this. Thank you, Matt. So one, we just got brought on 5 more mods. Not just that, bilingual mods as well, so they can help with the different communities that we have, one of which is the Turkish community. We just brought a mod on from there. So one, applying to be a moderator would be amazing. Outside of that, really kind of joining the shill group, like the shill army that we have, that's huge as far as retweeting, getting things trending, hashtagging, liking this stream, by the way. Make sure that you are liking the stream if you get a chance. That's really huge in getting us to trend on YouTube, which is actually one of the most generous algorithms that there are out there for getting us to trend. So make sure you're doing that, and not even just for just getting our name out there. It also helps with bringing like potential investors to come and watch and ask their own questions as well. So it's not just for the community, it's for everybody that's outside of it. So be sure that you're doing that, you're liking the stream, everything that goes along with that. And then, you know, like I said, going on CMC and just making sure that you are bullish on it, that you are commenting on it, you know, getting us trending whenever you possibly can. Those are the things that are really going to help as far as what you can do.
Absolutely, guys. And Dave, before I touch on what you said, which is awesome, by the way, I'm very jealous. Another part of getting involved in the community is also proposing stuff. We have our proposal form in the main chat that we can do /proposal. It'll bring that up, so you can send any ideas in that you have that might help us. No matter if we get back to you quickly or not, I promise you we're taking into consideration everything that is being given to us. And any idea is a good idea because we're always trying to develop, we're always trying to evolve into a better project and a better team.
Exactly. So definitely be sure you're sending that, joining the AMAs, giving us any and all feedback that you have. If you have an idea, literally some of the ways that we came on the team, we were messaging Dom, project manager, and we were saying, hey, here's some ideas that I have for the game. And then from there, we kind of formed a relationship with Dom, and it, you know, obviously went from there. But giving those kinds of feedback is they are actually taking our feedback and implementing some of those features into the game. Because as you can see, we're gamers as well, so we know what makes a good game. So those are some of the things that we need from the community. If you think that something will work, I mean, you're invested in this, just like we are. If you think something is going to make your investment pay off, make sure you let us know that. Give us feedback. Not only during this time, but we're also going to be rolling out a feedback kind of form, similar to the proposals form, where you are able to ask your questions and also kind of give feedback on things that you think that we should be doing. So look for that rolling out here really soon as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And to touch on that feedback form, that's one of those that we've discussed a lot too, is being able to field questions outside of AMAs and outside of the normal chat so that we can get an idea of what the community really wants to know and when they want to know it. So analytics is a big part of growing projects. And if we can better suit our FAQs, our AMAs, any questions or prompts that we have in the chat to answer those ahead of time, that clears a lot of room up for investors to learn more depth about the project instead of just the normal questions that we get repetitively about, you know, some of the things that can easily be looked into or easily displayed for you on an FAQ or something like that. Now, Dave, I don't know what this is, and maybe you can explain it to us. What is a dressing gown? I see that I'm already jealous that you wear Crocs and a dressing gown, whatever that is, for your work. Oh, that's fantastic. I wear this crazy polo and khaki pants. So if I can get a dressing gown, please let me know where and I'll get one.
The toweling?
Did you say hooves?
Toweling or something like that? Like, Dave, we are aggressively American. I have no idea what you were saying right now. Yeah,
I'm gonna have
please
to Google
please
this, dude.
translate it from your Middle Earth speak into something like English, so we know what
A
you're talking
dressing
about.
gown, it like dressing to me is like something you do when you're about to field strip a deer and cook it. Um, and if I have a dressing gown, then I'm assuming that's like a butcher's apron.
I don't think it's right. So that's what you wear to work.
So a robe.
Oh, a bathrobe. A
Oh,
bathrobe. He's just talking about a
A
bathrobe.
bathrobe. I got you.
Okay. See, these are the hard-hitting questions that we needed.
Well, thanks for clearing that up, Dave. I really appreciate that, man. All right, we got a couple more questions then.
All right, we do have a couple more questions, actually. So the first one, I'm going to need a little bit more context on what you're asking. It says, hi, when will the answers for the online application come? If you're talking about the mod application, I know that it depends on when you submitted that, but that they are still processing those. I know that they've brought on about 5 more, but they are looking for more mods at all points in time. So if that's what you're talking about, let me know. If not, gotta let me know and we'll elaborate on that. Matt asked, why did you guys choose this project? So I will give you my honest answer as to why I chose this project. I had randomly stumbled across a YouTube video or something like that said, hey guys, I made $1 million. This is how I made it. I went to Crypto Moonshots. I researched a bunch of projects. I found one that I liked and got in at the very beginning. So I just happened to hop on Reddit and went to Crypto Moonshots, and lo and behold, MetaDoge had just posted there. I looked into it. I was like, well, that's a dope ass name, and easy to market at this point in time with everything going on. And I aped in. That's really. And then I told him about it, and I was like, hey, throw a couple $100. Let's see what happens. And then we really started kind of evolving into it, and that's exactly kind of how it went.
Yeah, and for sure, if I could add to that,
Yeah.
I listened to him for all of my financial advice. Just kidding, but this guy was onto something from the beginning. Truthfully, I buy into him, and I buy into people, and I've heavily invested on the stock market side historically, and not been in crypto. But however, like when I saw what he was talking about, and the more we both looked into it as well, and the more we got to know the dev team, the more we bought into the people who were running the show here. I mean, like, I've never met a dev team. I've never met really any team, a board of directors, an executive team, anything that cares so much more about the success of the project and the community than they do about their own self-interests. Or either their self-interest or maybe just align perfectly with this. So if I had to say anything, what made me choose this project was sitting here and listening, really reading the feedback that they were giving, their structure to everything that they were doing, and asking questions like what you're doing right now. So you're in the perfect place to learn, and you're also in the perfect place to succeed, I think, with this project.
Yeah, I think I was going to add that exact sentiment to it as well. Like, that's why I chose the project, was the story that I gave. Why I really bought into the project was really kind of talking to the dev team, talking to Dom, Dan, Dave, every single one of them. And whenever they would say they're going to do something, they would get it done. And I think that's what spoke the most to me. So we have a couple more questions. Have you applied for getting listed on top 10 coin exchanges? If you've applied. So a couple of things with that. That is our major plan. That's what we're going for. But we need the Certic audit to be done for those big top 10 exchanges. So that is in the final stages of it. That should be completed here soon. We don't have an exact date because obviously that is kind of in their hands. But just like we've said with CMC, just like we said with CoinGecko, when we tell you that it's in their hands, we are not just like saying that out of thin air. It truly is, but we are delivering on what we're going to do. So that is in the final stages. And then from there, that's one of the reasons why we raised that sales tax for 24 hours to 20% to really kind of reward the holders and make sure that no one's just trying to pump and dump from the marketing that we were doing behind the scenes. And then it's going to be 15% for the foreseeable future for those same reasons, and to really kind of bolster the marketing wallet so that it is really healthy for those big exchanges. So to answer your question, yes, that is coming soon, but first hurdle, getting Certic finalized. We're almost there. It's just not there yet. And then burning remains at 40%. Burning is actually 30%, with 10% going to the staking wallet. Just so you were wondering, HGL. I saw that question come through. So on version 1, it was 40%. And then when we migrated over to version 2, we burned 30%, and then 10% went to the staking wallet to help the longevity of that stake. So, with that being said, I know we've had a few more people joining on the voice chat. If you have a question, feel free to go ahead and ask right now. Totally up to you. Is there a way to earn MetaDoge? I joined all-time high. Crying emoji. Okay. Yes. If you don't mind me asking, how much of that did you invest into NFTs? Because that is going to be the way that you earn MetaDoge. Because you can't stake the token itself. You buy the NFTs and you can stake those. And we still have our Season 2s and our Chinese New Year ones, which are incredibly rare. So make sure that you are buying those. And then I think even the common is 140% APY. So just by staking it over a year, you're going to get 40% more tokens than what you originally invested into the loot box itself. I'm not sure on the amount that is remaining, but I would say get some of those. If you see any Season 1s come up that are completely sold out, if you see those have the highest APYs. Those are obviously way more expensive, but the APYs on those are ridiculous. So if you can get some of those off the marketplace, be sure that you are converting your MetaDoge over to NFTs. And because we're here for the long haul, we're here for the longevity of the project. We're here for, those long holders. So if you can get some of those, you'll make your money back in like 6 months from your investment, and then it's nothing but profit from there. But that all-time high, I think it was like 1.5 or something around those lines. We're going to hit that again. I know with the migration and everything, but the reasoning why we did that and being able to fix some of the things from the Certic audit from the last time, like, we are going to hit those all-time highs again. It's just patience. I know it's not fun to look at right now if you bought it all-time high, but we're going to get back to those points. That's why we're here.
Now, I will say it may not be fun to look at from that perspective either, from an all-time high perspective, but you got to think about how much has been done to set ourselves up for the long-term success anyway. I mean, redoing the contract to go to MetaDoge version 2 was really a smart play in the long term. It hurts in the interim, and it costs a lot for us to do that. But ultimately, I think we're setting ourselves up for financial success altogether. We just got to keep pushing. And honestly, if you're looking more short term right now, our chart over the past few days especially has been extremely bullish. I love the chart over the past few days, because we were trending one of them, and that's great. But we've continued to rise. We will have little dips here, but as long as the long-term objective continues to grow and our community keeps buying in and sharing it with the people around them, we're going to be good. I mean, we're so in the infancy of this project. We haven't released the game. We're still waiting on the merch store. We're working on other exchanges. There's so much in the pipeline as far as marketing is concerned, that if you're thinking about leaving right now, which I'm not a financial advisor, but if you're thinking of leaving right now, you're probably gonna be sorely disappointed when you look back at this and say, man, I really wish I would have stuck with it.
100%. And the type of utility that we're building into the game, I mean, we're talking from all different facets, all different features, is going to be a constant ability to earn tokens, but also for them to be able to spend it. I mean, we are looking to release an incredible game that is addictive, fun to play, and is actually going to earn tokens along the way, and also going to take in tokens from people, obviously, selling in the shops, in-game shops, and things like that. So I can't get into too many details. I almost gave away a little bit too much, but there is a lot going on right now, and a lot that we are building into it, to where once it becomes one of the most addictive games, the most popular games, think of it that way, and the in-game currency is something that you already own for pennies, fractions of pennies on the dollar, you're going to be very happy. But you got to look at this as something that you're not going to dump in a month or two. You have to look at it from the long-term perspectives of it. If you're looking at it any different, then like he said, you will be disappointed. But that's not what our end game is. Our end game is to be the currency that you use for the game that is out there. So that is what we're building right now. One of the questions that came through is, will there be more NFTs? Yeah, the week chart looks fantastic. You're absolutely right. Yes, that's one of the things I said at the top of the hour. I don't know why I sounded like a radio DJ when I said that, but either way, one of the things that we're talking about are the in-game NFTs. We are in some of the final stages for some of the first preliminary designs. They look phenomenal. We also, I can't give away too much on this, but there may be an NFT out there to reward some certain people and stuff like that. All I can say right now is just make sure that you're stocking up on those NFTs that we have currently, the season 2s, and the Chinese New Year ones. Make sure that you're stocking up on those. And you might be a little bit surprised here later on down the road. So,
it's looking really nice. I can tell you that.
Exactly.
I will say, just a caveat on that. I hate that word, but I'll use it. From what he said, I can tell you another thing about the dev team is they look always to reward those who are staying with this project and continuing to increase their position. For obvious reasons, we not only want to build a trusting community and trustworthiness with the community, but we also want to reward people for buying into the idea that MetaDoge actually can do some really great stuff in the crypto space, in the gaming space, and that's what we're planning to do. So that's why they're constantly looking for ways to reward.
Exactly. So we're going to go ahead and open up one more time for all of those that are inside the voice chat right now on Telegram. I know there's about 8 of you guys in here. So does anyone, I'll mute real quick. Does anybody have a question that they want to ask? Feel free. Nothing's off the table. Okay, so so it wasn't working through were you using like the mobile trust wallet, or were you using like your computer trust wallet? Okay. What was the error that was giving you? Was it trying to charge you too much BNB? Because that should be alleviated now. And also, when was it giving you the error? I'm sorry. Okay, that's really weird then, because it should be one of the things that can happen is if you don't have like a decent amount, like 20-30 bucks. I don't know why that's decent, but of BNB like in your wallet, like if you're down to like 5 or something, sometimes it can just trigger an error message. But it doesn't sound like that's the case with yours, especially if it's working for the marketplace. Okay, now. So that only, and maybe you did do this, but that only works if with your season 2 rewards already equal 450,000 MetaDoge is what it's drawing from, is the actual staking rewards that are still there, not withdrawn. That happens a lot. That happened with me actually, and I work here. So so don't feel bad.
Volunteer.
No, don't feel bad. No, that is the exact reason. That discount only applies to your season 2 staking rewards being applied towards a new loot box. That's the reason. If you just do a standard buy a 500, like just buy a season 2 loot box, like out of the, not necessarily the marketplace, but the shop area, that's fine. You should be able to do that, no problem. But when you do Okay, let's shoot me a DM after this if you can. And yeah, Owen Dash. Yeah, are you on Telegram? Oh yeah, duh, you're in the voice chat. That's my bad. Yeah. Totally No, totally fine. Yeah, Owen dash public relations. You should be maybe even be able to click on my name and send me a DM. But send me a DM so we can talk about this afterwards, and I'll get with Dan, who develops our DApp, and we'll kind of go from there. All right, no problem, man. Thanks. We got a couple more. Can we do something to make MetaDoge more successful? We talked about that too, but just make sure that you are joining our shilling army, because that is really going to get the name out there. That's going to get it most. Like, we're going to do our jobs. The dev team's going to do their jobs behind the scenes to do the, make sure they're spending the marketing dollars wisely, make sure that we are, getting the logos updated, getting on the bigger exchanges. We'll do all of that. You guys just need to get our name out there to as many people as possible. You have to think, if each of you, if all of you, we have 15,000 holders right now, 15,000. If all of you can just convince one person by getting your name out there, or just get in front of one person who ends up buying MetaDoge, where will we be at? I mean, obviously, mathematically, 30,000, but you get the idea of what I'm saying. If we continue to work that way, if you can just go out there and get in front of one person, that's going to be huge. In the meantime, just making sure that you're liking the stream, that you're sharing it, that you're retweeting things. All of that is huge as far as getting us trending in multiple different directions. So be sure that you are doing that.
Hey, and another way that you can get that name out is, yes, to answer your question, Matt, we will have MetaDoge merch. So when you wear it around and you talk to people around the community and they're like, what the heck is that on your shirt or your hat or whatever? That's another way to get it out. That's another way to get the MetaDoge success to the community, to your community, to every community. And yeah, once that merch store launches, I'm going to be all up in it. Good luck trying to get your purchases, because I probably will ball all of it.
Yeah. And it looks like Matt even asked, like, merch will be available for MetaDoge. Now, are you asking if it'll, like, be available for MetaDoge, or, like, you can spend MetaDoge to buy it? Because those are two different questions. I want to make sure that, because he probably already answered one of them. But repeat in the chat if that's incorrect. With organic growth, he says, with organic growth, we could have reached 15,000 holders now, but do you think we also need more Twitter marketing with big influence? Yes. Something, and you'll hear us harp on this a lot, and I'm sorry if we sound like a broken record. Please keep this in mind. The reasoning behind a lot of these major marketing pushes that you guys are all looking for, that we're all looking for and ready for, Certic audit. Whales want to see that. Buyers want to see that. Especially from a team that outside of their public relations team is not doxxed. People want to see that stuff before they trust it and buy it. Everything's a rug pull nowadays. I just saw the other day, somebody else just got rug pull. I forget the exact name of the token, but it was millions of dollars. It was damn near just a Ponzi scheme. These are important things that whales and people need to see prior to really aping in and buying in. And the last thing that we want to do is spend $100,000 on marketing and it not be effective. That helps nobody. We are here for you. We are making calculated moves and risks and everything. And there are some things that we'll do just to make sure that we continue trending and that we're not missing out on major pumps and everything. But at the same time, you have to believe and trust in the dev team that while it feels a little bit delayed, it's for a good reason. We have to get that Certic audit done. Once that happens, sky's the limit as far as marketing goes, and you'll see a lot of stuff just kind of happen all at once. So just keep your eye out for that, but those are the main reasonings why. But yes, obviously, Twitter marketing and big influencers on there. TikTok's another thing we're looking at, even Instagram. Facebook we're going to start pushing for. There's a lot of marketing that we have in the pipeline, a lot of influencers we have in the pipeline, but we don't want to do those call groups until we have that Certic audit, so it is as effective as possible, because you only get one shot to get in front of somebody, and we want to make sure that it's a good one. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, and also wanted to add to that too. Let me remember my train of thought here.
Well, that's okay. I think Roberto was about to ask something.
Yeah,
Roberto, do you have a
Roberto,
question, my man?
bad.
Did you just join in and forget to mute your mic? It's okay if you did. That's all right. That's all right. And we also have somebody offering someone to strip without clothing in the YouTube chat,
Yeah,
so that's
I don't know
wonderful.
I'm gonna have to figure out how to like ban that kind of stuff. That happens every time, and I have no idea.
That's okay. More comments gets us trending more. So now buy it with MetaDoge. That I'll have to get an answer for, Matt, in Telegram later if you want to DM me to remind me. Because that's something that we were talking about, and that might have been what Dom meant when he was referring to getting payment kind of finalized on how payment was going to work with it. Hopefully there's the option to at least buy it with MetaDoge. That would be kind of awesome. But I'm sure they're also going to have it where you can buy with like USD and whatnot. I mean, that would make sense to me, just to make it as accessible as possible. You know what I mean?
Is it MetaDogen? Am I saying that right? Or MetaDogen?
I don't know.
Let me know in the chat.
Yeah, let us know.
So another thing, this is what I wanted to add a minute ago about the Twitter influencers and stuff, and really any marketing push that we have. You got to understand too that everything is a negotiation, because we're always trying to, our dev team is always trying to look out for the best interests of the investor, best interest of the project, and of course taking into consideration the marketing wallet. So when we spend extravagant amounts on stuff that we get very little return on our investment, that is always going to hurt our community overall. So we have to be very careful about that early on, and truthfully throughout the entire project. So take that into consideration too, that if there are delays and things, it's not only because we're being methodical about it, but it's also because we're dealing with another party, and it's not always the easiest thing to do.
It's never the easiest thing to do, but just know that, trust me, they have your best interest in mind. They have my best interest in mind. We are bought in on this dev team. That is what sold us. So just always keep that in mind. Looks like we're coming up on the 40-minute mark of the stream being live. The questions on YouTube are getting less and less. So voice chat on Telegram. Any of you guys, do you have any questions that you want to ask before we let it go? Yeah, he is working 12-hour shifts 6 days a week right now. He came into the chat just 2 days ago, and Tyler and myself were even asking that same question. We're like, man, I haven't seen PTG in a while. I hope he's okay. And he came in and said, yeah, man, I'm working crazy. It's sales month or something along those lines. So real life gets in the way. He's just not able to be as active right now. But man is still holding his MetaDoge, still all in. He is still there. He just is working like crazy right now. So, no problem. Does anybody else got any questions? No? All right, guys. Well, we appreciate you stopping by again. We will be back Tuesday at the same time. Obviously, this will be up here really soon. We'll post the recording in the chat in case anybody wants to go back and watch it to really catch up. I also highly recommend watching last week's AMA that we had. You can also find that in our channel. Make sure that you're subscribed. Make sure that you're liking. But that one, we got to interview Dom, and he gave a lot of insight into everything that's going on behind the scenes. And sure enough, he delivered, everything that he was talking about in the short term. So make sure that you guys go back and listen to that. I appreciate you guys stopping by, though. We'll leave it open for other questions. If you need anything, don't forget to send us a DM. So I am Owen. Tyler, we appreciate you guys stopping by, all right? Take it easy.
I just got rich. Well, this MetaDoge fire. Yeah. If you don't got a coin in your wallet, you broke. I said what I said. Hey, my doge not like yours. My doge is the first. You are just a meme. My doge got a metaverse. My doge not like yours. Tell him I said it.
Facts. My doge not like yours. My doge is the first. You are just a meme. My doge got a metaverse. My doge not like yours. My doge is the first. You are just a meme. My doge got a metaverse. MetaDoge, 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 MetaDoge. I just struck it rich. Too much money, it can't fit in my pocket. MetaDoge, flip it, watch me hold. NFT, I got one gold. We be lit like the stove. All these paper hands exposed. That's my doge, I cannot fold. Hey, I've been trapping doge off in the metaverse. MetaDoge, history made, we did it first. I can't make this up, ain't no right rehearse. We got all the drip, we gon' quench they thirst. My doge not like yours, my doge is the first. You MetaDoge, 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 big dog, boss doge and metaverse. I bought friends, NFTs, stake 'em, gotta get 'em first. Once she dip, I buy the dip, it come up, she can get her purse. Don't you wait until it's listed, you should go and get it first. Dog, I'm certified, check my status, ask about me. We been shaking up the market, that's no lie. Ricky Bobby, they gon' duplicate and try. Roger that, copy. I'm a big dog, off the leash, chest out, cocky. My doge not like yours, my doge is a first. You are just a meme, my doge got a metaverse. My doge not like yours, my doge is a first. You are just a meme, my doge got a metaverse. MetaDoge, 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 MetaDoge.
From slime to slime, I'ma put y'all on to something real quick. Know what I'm saying? You gotta put this coin in your pocket, else not you broke. Go to MetaDoge.live, that's MetaDoge.live. For bruh. Get you some money! LNJ, you can find me in the metaverse with my MetaDoge, you dig? It's a leak!